Ozark Steam Engine Association, and it's been operated by the Ron Mattingly family for many, many years. It's been here on the ground. They treat it just like their own. It's a lovely engine. Worked for many, many years, and we're happy to have it here. Just kind of living through the years here on the showground. Guys, you got a whistle for me there?
Yeah.
This one's a neat little engine. It is on the smaller side, probably one of the smaller full-size engines we have here. This is a 1911 30 horsepower case. This one is owned by Jeff and Charlie Ruth, being operated by Mr. Brian Warson. This one actually has a headlight on the front of it. Now we usually joke it's not for the operator to see, it's for you to see the operator at night. They didn't put out much light, but they're a neat addition to have. They're not very common. Jeff is the president of the Early Day Gas Engine Tractor Association Branch 16, who run the show here with us. Case was a very popular brand of engine. They made many, many different sizes, very well-made machines. So of course you got your smaller engines here, you got the big ones like the 80 horsepower case that came through. How about a whistle there? Alright, this one is a lovely, lovely engine. This is an 1893. Yes, you heard correctly, an 1893 12 horsepower Peerless, being operated by Mr. Corbin Michael and Sheldon Michael. It is owned by the Louis Capacity family. This one is the oldest full-size engine on the ground. As it's coming by here, if you can look at the rear spokes on the rear wheels, those are actually made out of wood, not metal spokes like everything else has here today. You'll also notice that the flywheel is on the left side, not the right side, which was something that several manufacturers did back in the day. How about a whistle there, guys? Should anybody be curious or anything like that, the only dumb question is the question that is not asked. So if you guys have any questions for any of our operators, engineers, about how any of this works, feel free to come up to us. We'll be here all weekend. We'd be happy to show you. We like talking about our equipment. It's something we enjoy, it's a passion that we have, and we'd love to share it with you. This one is a lovely engine. I think I've said that about many of them here. They're all lovely. It's a 1917 2070 horsepower Nichols and Shepherd. This one's actually owned by the Ozark Steam Engine Association President Dana Erickson and his wife. Looks like we got the Hofstadler family up there. This one was bought from Joe Winter out of Richardson, Missouri in 2016, and they've had it at the show since 2018. He did a little bit of work when he got it, but it is a nice mint engine. This one was used on a sawmill until the early 1950s, and after it was used on the sawmill, it was sold to Paul I out of Appleton City. So this one's a Missouri engine. the longer engines, you put your water tanks on the side there. You've got one on each side for extra capacity. And as heavy as those engines are, and the way the front axle sits, the front engine is actually, or the front of the engine actually can get pretty light whenever you're pulling a load. How about a whistle there, guys? Alright, up next we got the Mcau family Harrison Jumbo. It's a 1929 17 horsepower Harrison Jumbo. Been here for many years, and it looks like they're actually pulling one of the oldest Harrisons left known to exist. So that engine there, the traction engine, is one of the newer Harrisons ever made. It is actually the newest engine on the ground being made in 1929. There were a lot of gas factors that were already being made by then. So Josh is pulling the portable engine, which before they were self-propelled, a portable engine was a common way to get power to the field. Usually you'd have them hooked to a team of horses. If I remember correctly, the portable is an 1875 Harrison. It's a little 9 horsepower. Now 5 generations of the Mcau family have been involved with those engines and with this show, so we're obviously very lucky that we still have them here and happy to have their engines here on the ground. Josh is the vice president of the Ozark Steam Engine Association, and his dad Randy is the treasurer. How about a whistle there, Josh? Up next, we got Miss Shelley up there running a 1920 20 horsepower advanced Rumley. This one is owned and operated by Charlie Stark and his family. Charlie was the president here for many, many years. Charlie's father, the late Frank Stark, purchased this engine back in the 1920s, so actually fairly early on in its life. He traded it some years later, but they were able to buy it back sometime in the 1940s, and the family has had it back ever since. This is a really nice example of an advanced Rumley. Very popular machine. A lot of guys in the community really, really like these. This one was used around Billings, Missouri, and looks like they did a lot of road grader work with it, used for threshing. Shelley, how about a whistle? Has some really large tanks on it. I'm assuming, just by looking at them, this one was definitely used for some heavy work. They wanted the extra fuel capacity, the extra water capacity on it. That way they didn't have to run back and forth all the time to refill their supplies. You guys got a whistle for us there? Newcomer here. I don't know that many of them expected it, but we're certainly happy to have him here.
That's a little one.
Yeah, those are
Mr. Devin Dowler and Keith
like
Lockridge
quarter scale,
out of Owensville.
half
Actually
scale.
brought
They're
this
okay.
little frick, the 1913 frick down, all the way from Owensville to join us this year. Now this one is an 8x10. The main purchased it in 2020 from the Jowett family. If you're in the Speed community, you know who the Jowetts are. This one actually, This one doesn't have a canopy on it to guard you from the sun. A canopy is usually an added on option. Of course, many people wanted that to protect them from the sun, but you didn't necessarily have to order that. It was just an extra expense. You guys got a whistle for me there? Happy to hear it. Randy, I'm going to get this wrong. You give me notes on this one. I'll wing it. We got a little half-scale star engine there. Randy pointing out, giving me my notes on the go. Of course, the Mcau family owns several engines. Looks like you've got his daughter up there operating at control. This one is what's called an undermounted engine. And this, oh, everybody give her a round of applause. This is her first time on the engine. Looks like we'll make an engineer out of her after all. So an undermount engine actually has the engine proper mounted underneath the boiler. It's usually easier to get the belt on. Any of you who are familiar with Avery? Avery was a popular company that did that as well. So this one is a nice little half-scale engine that the Mcau had. They've owned that one for many years. You guys got a whistle there, Randy? Now turning over to some transition machines here. That's a cute little machine there. Next one's coming up. We're kind of the transition between steam and smaller gas tractors. These are Rumley oil pumps. Usually they were pretty large machines. Usually kind of come just like the steam engines before they kind of shrunk them down a little bit. This one's a model Rumley oil pump. Looks like it's being run by a Star out of Republic, Missouri. Another Rumley oil pool. So again, these were transition era machines. During that time, a lot of people thought gas and kerosene may just become a fad, and that steam was always going to be clean. Unfortunately, we found out real quick that gas was a lot of like that. Start, you need to get up 4 hours early.
You can build one.
To fire one up.
Hard to find parts, but
not necessarily on that one. Turn a flywheel to get it started.
Just a couple of
Thank you guys so much for having those.
yeah.
Put the Mcau motor on it. Those are a pipeline machine right there.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's getting his number.
Oh, wow, there's an older one.
Get the tractors called.
Oh,
We
pipeline.
have found, they said it